Everybody, welcome back to the latest Manchester United news. Now, in this video, we'll be talking about Rasmus Højlund potential exit, but the main thing I want to talk about is the Gyokeres and MBUEMO situation. Now, we've had some huge updates on that post and on the Victor Gyokeres situation. Now, there's been a lot reported, so I'm going to go through all of it. So it started off that you wouldn't be interested in joining Manchester United. You'd want to go to another club with Champions League football. We've seen all that quotes from Amram saying he wants players to join Manchester United because they want to join Manchester United, not just for Champions League football. Now, obviously, we've got Cunha through the door already. Then the last couple of days, we had some huge news from Ben Jacobs and others suggesting that Victor Gyokeres would be open to moving to Manchester United, even if Manchester United do not have Champions League football. Champions League football is not the huge factor for Victor Gyokeres, and Amorim has kept in contact with the Swedish striker since moving to Manchester United. Now, for me, Gyokeres is my perfect striker. I think he's got that experience in the Champions League. We know he's a goal scorer and a clinical goal scorer. I've seen a lot of people say he wouldn't fit into this Manchester United team based just because of different profiles. I think he would be a correct goal scorer. I think he's someone he scored 102 goals across 2 seasons. He's had a fantastic couple of seasons at Sporting, and a large part of it was Ruben Amorim, who did transform him. Obviously, he scored a lot of goals for them this season, but Ruben Amorim did have a massive part. Now, as I said, Gyokeres would be that key striker for me, and listen, the reports at the moment are looking increasingly likely that Manchester United can get Ruben Amorim's main striker target in Victor Gyokeres. For me, I'd be so happy with that. I think he's a quality player, someone who immediately, you look at Højlund, Xerxes, Cheeto, he immediately boosts our options. He then allows us to potentially go for or allow Inter to go in for Højlund, which leads me on perfectly to Manchester United are not actively seeking to part ways with Højlund, but both the club and the player are aware of Inter's interest. It would take around 45 to 50 million euros to persuade United to sell. Inter would prefer a loan initially with the obligation to buy. That's coming in from the Telegraph. They've made informal inquiries about Højlund, but United want a permanent deal. Now, with Gyokeres waiting for Manchester United, I think Højlund going out the door will certainly make a lot of sense. It'd give you money that you could put towards the deal. It'd also free up that space. Now, as I said, Højlund, £40 million or 40 million euros would be absolutely perfect. I think the amount of money we spent on him was ridiculous, and I think it is time to go. Unfortunately, I think Højlund's just not a good enough striker. Yes, he could learn under Gyokeres, but I feel like if you do bring in Gyokeres, you would have to get rid of one of Cheeto, Xerxes or Højlund, and for me it'd be Højlund. I think he's had 2 seasons at United. He hasn't really done much in those 2 seasons. And yeah, maybe a loan, and then you can assess his options after that if you don't get a permanent deal. But while I'd certainly be looking at getting a permanent deal for someone like Rasmus Højlund. Listen, there's nothing against him. I think he's a player who puts the hard graft in, he works hard. I just don't think he's what Manchester United need at this current moment, and I think he is becoming a problem in our team. As I said, there's no doubt he probably has the ambition, and he's a United fan, and winning the trophy that he has with us in the FA Cup is fantastic for him. But for me personally, I would let him go. Let me know your thoughts. Inter Milan seem like the team they are leading from at the moment. Obviously, I think he would flourish in the Serie A, because that's obviously where United got him from. As I said, you could get a loan and then assess your options from there. But certainly for me, I'd be looking at a permanent sale either this summer or certainly in January, or even just as soon as you possibly can, to be honest with you. So that's that on Gyokeres and Højlund. They both, Gyokeres wants to join Manchester United. He's waiting for Manchester United. He's in contact with Amorim. He doesn't believe Champions League could be a factor. And on the personal, for me, I think I'm very happy with what Gyokeres can offer. Experienced goal scorer, can score goals left foot, right foot, header. And yeah, I think the Premier League right now at the age he's at, 26, would be perfect for him. I think it's a 65 million overall deal, which does make a lot of sense. I think obviously he has that agreement with Sporting that he can leave. So yeah, that's that. Now the final thing I want to talk about is Bryan MBUEMO. Now, obviously we had that bid, I think it was last night, 45 plus 10 million in add-ons went in for Bryan MBUEMO, and that was rejected by Brentford. They want close to the Cunha fee, which was around £62 million or 62.5. Now, Manchester United reportedly will go in with another bid of 50 plus £10 million. Now, it came in from Ben Jacobs a couple of hours ago, suggesting that United would put in that bid today. However, he has just put out that United have not put in that official bid yet. So it will come. I think it will be in the next couple of days or so. And hopefully we can get that deal over the line before moving on to the next target. Just an interesting thing. I wonder when United will start to work on outgoings. I think behind the scenes we probably are looking to get a move for Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho. But I wonder when any actually of them will go through. But on MBUEMO, as I said, there is still confidence the deal will get done. For what's around on the media right now, it's just United waiting for that second bid, and ultimately Brentford will accept the move for Bryan Mbeumo to come to United. We know he wants to join. He's keen on the Manchester United move. He's keen on the project. We know how he'd fit into this team. He'd be a quality player. So yeah, it's all about getting those final dots over the line for Bryan Mbeumo to join Manchester United. Now listen, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you want Mbeumo to come to Manchester United? For me, he'd be my perfect option. I think he's a real quality player, someone who can immediately add a lot to this team. And as I said, we need creative players. We can't rely on Bruno and Ahmad all the time. We've got Cunha in, and Mbeumo would be absolutely perfect at this moment. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. But I'll keep you up to date with anything that does go on. I'm hoping we get Here We Go soon on the Mbeumo situation. But yeah, that's it at the moment. I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new. This has been the latest Manchester United update. I'll run through the roundup quickly. There's only 3 big stories at the moment. Højlund to Inter, they've made informal inquiries about him. They want a loan, United want a permanent deal. Gyokeres, he's keen on joining Manchester United. He stayed in contact with Amorim since Amorim left Sporting. He's not with, obviously, Delap going to Chelsea, Ekitike going to Chelsea also as well. I don't think that one's been confirmed yet. Sesko going to Arsenal. I think he would come to United. But let's see, he has a great relationship with Amorim. Let's see what falls on that. And on the last thing, Bryan Mbeumo. The bid's gone in. He wants to join United. We know that. It's just about getting the final thing sorted now before we can finalise the move. I think personal terms have been agreed. I think everything has been agreed other than the fee with Brentford. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's really about it. Subscribe. Obviously, we keep you up to date with all the latest that is going on.